Hey, it's Dr. Jennifer Stoll, and I'm going to dive into key insight number 2 from our recent 2025 National Benchmark Study on resident sentiment towards sporting events. Now, you all know by this point, we partnered with Longwoods International for this effort. It was presented by our friends at Miles Partnership, also supported by Greater Orlando Sports Commission and Visit Frisco. And key insight 2, it's really an interesting one because one of the things we wanted to dive into was the nuances between those who have participated in sport or do participate in sport or have children who participate in sport versus those who do not. And the results were pretty astounding. Those who have participated in sport before in the past, and that could be recreational sport or competitive sport, we asked both questions, had a huge perception that sport and sporting activities provide positive benefits for them. Respondents recognize the benefits of sports participation for themselves and for their children. When we dive into some of the details, we broke it down by generation, for example, and we found something that actually parallels our study from last July when we looked at 2023 data. And that is that while support and belief in sports positively impacting individuals is high across the board, we're talking low mid 80% by generations, Gen Z lags behind just a little bit. We wrote an entire piece about why we think that is, and it could be things such as, they're just not there yet. They may not have kids who participate in sport. They might not be actively participating in sport in their adult lives yet, but it is 6 percentage points down from the highest generation, which is Gen X. So we want to watch that going forward to see if there's any trends that emerge out of that. If Gen Z does not pick up pace with, say, millennials and boomers at 83% and Gen X at 85%, that's going to be telling for future consumer behavior. So we're going to pay attention to that going forward. We'll link to that article that we wrote back in the summer of 2024, and it's still relevant today. Now, one other thing I wanted to hit on this insight was the pie chart about it's chart 3 and key insight 2. Sport participation is an important part of my children's life. And I don't know if this number caught you, but it might have been one of the highest metrics that we measured from a favorability perspective. And bear in mind, favorability is those that agree or strongly agree, came in at 90% of respondents. Now, bear in mind, these are people that have or have had children who have participated in sport. So that seems to make sense. Well, yeah, if your kid's in sport, then you're going to believe that it's an important part of their life at a higher pace than maybe if your kids were not. But the question here is this over indexing? Are people putting too much value in their children's sport participation? We don't necessarily know that by the results of what we published of this portion of the data, but we did look into this and several other factors because we believe that's going to play a key part to the future sustainability of the sport and tourism industry overall. Great intel for key insight number 2 in our study, which is respondents recognize the benefits of sports participation for them and their children. Stay with us. We're going to cover all the key insights from this study and so much more going forward. Until next time, I'm Dr. Jennifer Stoll, President and CEO of Cimarron Global Solutions.